Hey Kate, this is Wes. Just wanted to go over your video with you before we get into it. It's going to be in super slow motion so that I can just give you a little introduction and talk about some of the good things that we noticed with your stroke and also some of the weaknesses that we noticed. And since December is right around the corner, you'd have about 3 months to really work on those weaknesses, so you have plenty of time. We just wanted to get this out to you before December, and so you'd have plenty of time to work on it. Some of the positive things that we noticed with your stroke was that you have great hip rotation. A lot of swimmers struggle with this. They have flat hips, but you move side to side each time you glide with that stroke that leads into the water. So that's a nice streamlined position that helps you move through the water a lot quicker. Also notice you have great ankle flexibility. In other words, that your toes are not pointed straight down when you're kicking, creating a lot more drag in the water. Rather, your toes are pointed straight behind you. You have a nice flat foot, and so it helps you just to kind of create less drag and move through the water a lot more quickly. The final thing is you have great head position along with a great glide in your stroke. Your arm is straight as you lead into the water, leaving you nice and long in the water. So there's a lot of good things with your stroke. There's only really two things that we saw with your stroke, and that's that you're crossing over slightly whenever your hand enters into the water. And really just the weaknesses with that is if you're doing an open water triathlon or even in the pool, it makes it to where it's more difficult to swim in a straight line. That's A. B, it puts a little bit more stress on your shoulder. So it's better if you just come in straight ahead rather than crossing over that imaginary center line. If you imagine if you had a line going down the middle of your head and your body, you just don't want to cross that center line. Puts a little bit more stress on your shoulders. And then the second thing that we noticed besides the catch, and really this is what you really should be focusing in on in the months of December and January, is your catch. And so I'm going to slow it down in super slow motion so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So let's go into your video, speed things up, and take a look at your stroke. Alright, Kate, so what we're going to do now is we're going to slow it down big time, and I want to show you what I'm talking about when I talk about your catch. So right now, as you can see, your left arm has entered into the water, and I just want you to notice how straight it is. So right about now is where you should be bending your elbow. The initial move, as soon as you enter into the water, is with your hand in your forearm, where it sweeps down, and as it sweeps down, you keep your elbow up. And so it's going to make you hydrodynamic. And so when you can see right now, as straight as your arm is, what it does is it makes you feel like you're pulling more water with each stroke. And the truth of the matter is you are. However, with the high elbow catch, you're pulling less water. However, you're more hydrodynamic. One of the things you've got to remember is being hydrodynamic in the water trumps the sensation of pulling more water. And so you need to keep that elbow so high that it's actually parallel with the water, several inches from the surface of the water. So yes, it's a very high elbow catch. There is no windmilling. And so what you're doing is you're keeping a straight arm like a windmill as you go through the water. And then you recover, then you enter into the water, and you keep a straight arm. What you need to do is keep a high elbow catch. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a video and attach it and send it to you of Nicole's swim stroke. And she has worked so hard on her catch, and you'll see what I mean when I talk about a high elbow catch. And so why don't we go ahead and move on through the next couple of minutes with your video. All right, so hopefully you can see the positives that I brought up earlier with your hip rotation, your ankle flexibility. You have a really nice stroke. Your body position, which is the most common struggle for swimmers, is something that you do not struggle with. Your hips are high on the water, and so you're not really creating a whole lot of drag. So again, the arm crossing over, I'm sure that you saw that. That's just an easy fix for you to focus on. It's just coming in with your arms straight. Have somebody look at you, a friend or somebody, just to kind of see, but you should be able to see it for yourself, just as something to be aware of. And finally, just the weaknesses that we pointed out is just as far as your catch. You really want to have a lot more bend to your elbow rather than keeping it straight. Again, we want you to be hydrodynamic. I'm going to include some drills for you to focus on for your catch, and give you I'm going to give you, what I'm going to do is send you an email of. In the email, it's going to cover the importance of a high elbow catch, is sort of what I'm talking about. As far as drills, it's really just a matter of being more aware of when you're warming up and when you're swimming of just what your elbow is doing. And so rather than giving you drills, I just want to have you realize what I'm talking about. And the more visuals I can give you, hopefully you'll kind of understand what I mean by having a high elbow catch. So Kate, I hope this helps you out. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. All right, take care.